Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we plunge into the heart of complex topics, extracting the most important nuggets of knowledge and insight just for you.
Glad to be here.
Today, we're setting our sights on a real cosmic enigma, something mysterious hurtling through our solar system.
Not from around here, right? That's the key part.
Exactly. Not from our familiar neighborhood, but from the vast, dark expanse of interstellar space. Imagine a visitor from beyond, a true deep space wanderer.
It's an incredible thought, isn't it? And that's precisely what we're discussing with 3I Atlas.
3I Atlas, okay.
Yeah. This isn't just any old space rock. It's a really intriguing interstellar object. It's definitively not from our solar system.
Not one of ours. Got it.
And we're talking about something estimated to be more than 12 miles wide.
12 miles. That's huge.
It is. And it's whizzing past at an astonishing 37 miles per second relative to the sun.
37 miles per second.
Per second, yeah. Just to give you some perspective, on October 30th, it's projected to come within about 130 million miles of Earth.
Okay, so not exactly close, but cosmically speaking.
It's definitely moving.
My goodness, that speed is just wild. And the discovery itself, that's quite a story too, right? How did we even spot this thing?
Well, it was first spotted by the NASA-funded Asteroid Terrestrial Impact Last Alert System, ATLAs for short.
ATLAs.
Yeah, the telescope down in Chile. Initially, it just looked like another unknown asteroid. Nothing too unusual at first glance.
So standard procedure, report it.
Exactly. They reported it to the Minor Planet Center, that's the international clearinghouse for these kinds of observations.
Mm-hmm.
Then, as more follow-up observations came in from other telescopes, the picture became clearer. The verdict was definitely a comet and definitely interstellar.
Wow, so the data piled up pretty quickly to confirm its origin.
That's right. The initial data and, the ongoing consensus from most scientists points to 3I Atlas being an icy comet.
Mm-hmm.
It's behaving pretty much exactly as a natural comet should when it gets closer to a star like our sun.
Okay, so the mainstream view is natural comet. But here's the burning question, the thing that makes this deep dive so compelling, I think.
Right.
While most astrophysicists agree it's an icy comet, what if it's not? What if it's something far more unnatural, maybe even artificial?
And that's where this story really takes a fascinating, maybe even controversial turn, isn't it? It's a heck of a thought experiment.
Okay, let's unpack this. Our mission today, for you listening, is to first explore what scientists feel pretty certain about, the solid evidence for 3I Atlas.
The baseline facts.
Right. Then we're going to dive headfirst into some truly mind-bending speculations. And crucially, the counter-arguments, too, because that's important.
Absolutely. Got to have balance.
We want to help you understand what's really happening, or at least what might be happening, with this cosmic visitor. It's a journey into the known and the very much unknown.
So let's start with that scientific consensus. It's firmly planted in the realm of natural phenomena. Like I said, the vast majority of the scientific community, after looking at all those observations...
The speed, the path.
Exactly. They concluded that 3I Atlas displays all the clear characteristics of just a natural icy comet from interstellar space.
Okay, but what are those characteristics? What makes them so sure it's a comet and not, something else entirely?
That's a great question. And it really comes down to its observed behavior, particularly how it moves.
Its trajectory.
Its trajectory and its speed, yeah. Both can be fully explained by a simple physical mechanism we call outgassing.
Outgassing. Okay, I've heard that term. What does it mean in this context?
It's pretty straightforward, actually. When an icy comet gets close to a star, the heat makes the ice inside it vaporize, turn directly into gas.
Right, like dry ice does.
Sort of, yeah. This process releases gas and dust from the comet's surface. Think of it like tiny natural thrusters pushing the comet around.
Ah, okay. So these little jets of gas subtly change its path.
Precisely. This outgassing changes the comet's path and acceleration in predictable ways. It's a really well-understood phenomenon in cometary science. We see it all the time with comets from our own solar system.
So its movement, even at that incredible 37 miles per second speed, is completely consistent with what we'd expect from a natural icy body warming up as it flies through.
That's the key. It fits the models. It fits the observations we have for comets, even these visitors from outside our solar system, pretty seamlessly.
So it aligns perfectly with Occam's razor, then. The simplest explanation that fits the data is probably the right one.
That's the core argument for the consensus view. There's really no need, scientifically speaking, to invoke anything extraordinary or artificial to explain what we're seeing. A natural comet fits the bill.
Okay, natural comet. Got it. But here's where it gets really interesting, like you said. Because while the scientific community leans heavily on that natural explanation,
There are other ideas floating around.
very provocative hypotheses, yeah.
Hmm.
And at the center of many of these alternative theories is a name that some of you might recognize. Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb.
Yes, Avi Loeb. He's certainly a key figure whenever these kinds of interstellar mysteries pop up.
He has a bit of a reputation, doesn't he?
He does. He's known for encouraging open-mindedness about extraterrestrials, about SETI, the search for extraterrestrial intelligence, which is admirable, I think, but...
But?
Well, some of his specific theories often rankle other scientists, as the sources put it. They can be quite controversial within the community.
And he co-founded the Galileo Project, right? What's that about?
Yeah, the Galileo Project is a research program specifically dedicated to the systematic scientific search for evidence of extraterrestrial technological artifacts.
Mm-hmm.
So, looking for alien tech, basically.
Okay, so he's predisposed to consider that possibility. What does Loeb actually say about 3ITL specifically?
Well, he recently co-wrote a paper. It was uploaded to the preprint server, RC.
Meaning not peer-reviewed yet.
Exactly. That's crucial.
Yeah.
It hasn't gone through the formal peer review process where other experts scrutinize it.
Okay, important context. What does the paper speculate?
It speculates that 3ITLs could potentially be an, unquote, hostile alien technology.
Hostile. Wow, that's quite a leap.
It is. But again, context is key here. The paper itself is described more as a pedagogical exercise. It's kind of exploring the what-ifs based on its unusual trajectory and speed, rather than presenting it as a definitive conclusion.
So even Loeb isn't shouting from the rooftops, it's aliens. It's more like exploring the mathematical possibilities, however unlikely.
Precisely. Even Loeb himself is quoted as conceding. By far, the most likely outcome will be that 3I Atlas is a completely natural interstellar object, probably a comet.
Okay, that's a really important caveat. He's exploring possibilities, not declaring certainty.
Right. It's a thought experiment pushed out into the public sphere via a preprint.
But like you mentioned, this isn't his first rodeo with these kinds of claims, is it? He has a history of connecting unusual space objects to, well, potential alien artifacts.
That's right. And it helps to look at those past examples to understand the pattern, maybe. Remember Oumuamua back in 2017?
Oh, yeah. The first one, the weird cigar-shaped thing.
Exactly. The very first interstellar object ever detected. It really puzzled scientists. Its shape was odd, yes, but also its unexplained acceleration as it moved through our solar system. It sped up in a way that gravity alone couldn't easily account for.
And that's when Loeb proposed his light sail idea, right? Like a spaceship pushed by sunlight.
Yes, that was his theory. An alien light sail. A piece of extraterrestrial tech.
But wasn't there another explanation later on?
There was. In March 2023, a different study offered a more conventional scientific explanation. They argued that Oumuamua's odd orbit could be attributed to hydrogen outgassing as it warmed up.
So, outgassing again. Similar to the current thinking about 3I.
Very similar, yes. A natural explanation that fits the available data without needing aliens.
Okay, and what about the IM-1 meteor? That was much more recent, right? Involved recovering stuff from the ocean.
That's another fascinating one. So in 2014, a meteor, designated IM-1, hit Earth's atmosphere over the Pacific. Fast forward to June 2023, and Loeb and his team from the Galileo Project went on an expedition and recovered tiny metallic spherules, suspected remnants of this meteor, from the ocean floor.
Wow. And what did they find?
Well, by August 2023, Loeb claimed that early analysis suggested these spherules were indeed interstellar in origin, and made of substances unmatched to any existing alloys in our solar system.
Unmatched alloys. That sounds pretty significant.
It does sound intriguing. But again, other astrophysicists remained unconvinced about the claims of artificial origin. The analysis is ongoing, and even Loeb himself hadn't definitively stated if they were artificial tech or just naturally occurring weird interstellar material.
So with 3I, we're definitely seeing a pattern emerge. An unusual object appears, there's a solid natural scientific explanation.
Like outgassing.
Right. And then Loeb and sometimes his colleagues step in with a provocative, but what if it's not natural? What if it's tech?
That seems to be the dynamic, yes.
Okay, now let's really lean into those what-if scenarios for 3I Atlas. Just if it weren't a comet, what could it possibly be, according to these more speculative ideas?
Right. These are the really thought-provoking, though highly speculative, scenarios raised by Loeb and his team. One possibility they floated is that 3 Atlas could be an observer probe, or maybe even mine technology.
A mine, like a space mine, or more like a listening post.
More like a listening post or a sentinel. The hypothesis is that 3 Atlas could be a probe sent by some civilization to detect other potentially dangerous or advanced civilizations.
So like a silent watcher, how would that work?
Well, the idea is it could be cleverly camouflaged as a natural comet, designed to just drift silently, gather information, maybe without drawing attention.
Why hide?
It ties into something called the dark forest hypothesis.
Ah, I've heard of that. The idea that the universe might be full of predators, so it's safest to stay quiet.
Exactly. If you announce your presence with radio signals or spaceships, you might invite destruction from someone more advanced or hostile. So maybe some civilizations send out these camouflage probes, these silent mines or observers.
To check things out first, maybe they only activate if they detect something specific?
That's the idea. Perhaps it's a passive device that just wakes up or sends a signal back home only if it detects a specific technological signature. Things like, powerful radio broadcasts or maybe emissions from spacecraft engines.
That is a genuinely chilling thought. Makes you want to turn off all the lights and just whisper, doesn't it?
It adds a certain paranoia to SETI, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But it's one logical possibility within that dark forest framework.
Okay, what about the next scenario? You mentioned its size 12 miles wide. That's enormous. Does that lead to other ideas?
It certainly does. The second scenario plays directly on that massive size and its interstellar origin. The idea is that Three-Eyed Atlas could be a relic of a lost ancient civilization.
For a relic, like a cosmic ruin floating through space. A ghost ship.
Precisely. It brings to mind concepts like colossal generation ships or world ships. Imagine an interstellar ark built maybe billions of years ago to carry the last remnants of a civilization whose star was dying.
Wow, so it was meant to travel to a new home.
Perhaps. But maybe something went wrong. Maybe the inhabitants perished or the mission failed, and now it's just drifting. A giant, ghostly relic silently sailing through the void for potentially eons.
It's hard to even picture something that vast just floating out there. Or maybe it wasn't a ship, but something else, a huge structure.
That's another angle within this scenario. Maybe it wasn't an ark, but some other massive, once active structure. Perhaps its power source was depleted long, long ago.
So now it's just a husk, just a monumental, silent chunk of ancient technology.
Could be. And its high speed might just be leftover momentum. Residual velocity from whatever propulsion system it used way back when. Now it's just coasting, at the mercy of gravity, a silent monument.
Incredible ideas. And the third scenario, that one ties back to Oumuamua, doesn't it? Our first interstellar visitor.
Yes, it connects the two. The theory here is, what if Three-Eyed Atlas and Oumuamua aren't unrelated? What if they're actually two different types of craft? Maybe from the same civilization, but sent for different reasons.
Okay. How would that work?
Well, Oumuamua, with its weird shape and speed boost, could have been like a fast scout or maybe a messenger probe. Quick, small, maybe designed to gather initial data rapidly.
And Three-Eyed Atlas, being so much bigger and, well, cometary looking.
Three-Eyed Atlas, being larger and slower and looking much more like a typical comet, could be something different, maybe a larger cargo vessel or a long-term research platform.
So like siblings with different jobs, a scout and a freighter.
Something like that. And then there's the camouflage angle again, which is really intriguing here.
You mean they learned from Oumuamua being so obviously weird?
That's the speculation. Perhaps the detection of Oumuamua, which was so unusual it immediately screamed oddball and drew intense scrutiny. Perhaps that taught this hypothetical civilization a lesson.
Like, oops, that was too obvious.
Maybe. So for the next vehicle, Three-Eyed Atlas, they decided to camouflage it much more convincingly. Wrap it in a shroud of ice and dust, make it look like a comet.
So the comet-like appearance, the outgassing, it could all be a deliberate cloaking device hiding an artificial core inside.
In this scenario, yes. The cloud of ice and dust would be the perfect, natural-looking shield.
Wow. Okay, these what-if scenarios are incredibly imaginative. They really do stretch the mind. But let's bring it back down to Earth for a moment. What do the majority of scientists, the ones not writing these speculative preprints, say about all this? What's the reigning scientific opinion on these alien tech ideas for Three-Eyed Atlas?
Right. While these speculations are exciting and definitely fuel our imaginations, it's crucial to reiterate that there is very strong scientific skepticism, even dismissal, of these claims.
Dismissal. That sounds strong.
Well, consider someone like Chris Lintott, an astronomer at the University of Oxford. He was part of the team that actually simulated Three-Eyed Atlas's likely origin point in our galaxy. He's quoted as dismissing Loeb's suggestions quite forcefully.
What does he say?
He called them nonsense on stilts, and even suggested they were an insult to the exciting work going on to understand this object through conventional astrophysics.
Nonsense on stilts. Okay, that's pretty blunt. So the pushback is significant.
It is. It really comes back to that fundamental scientific principle. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. Carl Sagan's famous line.
And there's just no extraordinary evidence for 3ILS being artificial.
Exactly. While these theories are captivating and fun to think about, there is currently zero concrete proof that 3ILS is anything other than natural. The simplest explanation, its behavior is consistent with outgassing from an icy comet, remains the most scientifically robust explanation based on the actual observations we have.
So science operates on observable evidence, and right now all the arrows point towards Comet.
That's the scientific position, yes.
Mm.
Until or unless contradictory evidence emerges, the comet hypothesis holds.
So wrapping this up, what's the big takeaway here? What does this whole episode with 3ILS really tell us? It feels like more than just a story about a space rock.
I think you're right. Whether 3I turns out to be just a comet or, in some incredibly unlikely scenario, something else, it highlights the amazing phenomena happening constantly in our universe. Things flying between stars.
Yeah, the universe is just incredible.
And this whole situation perfectly demonstrates how science actually works, doesn't it? You have the careful gathering of evidence, the application of known physics, the consensus building.
And also the pushing of boundaries, the asking of wild what-if questions, even if they seem outlandish.
Precisely. It shows science grappling with new discoveries, balancing solid evidence with boundless curiosity, and how even provocative ideas, like Loeb's, can push the conversation forward, even if they ultimately prove incorrect. They make us double-check our assumptions.
It's a real-time lesson. It shows the tension between sticking to the data and daring to speculate, between this is what we know, and but imagine if.
It's true. And there's real value in asking what if, even the wildest what if questions. Considering alternative possibilities, even if just as thought experiments, is a fun and, frankly, provocative way to both push the boundaries of science a little and also just to ponder our own place in this vast cosmos.
It definitely sparks the imagination. It encourages us to look deeper, stay curious, even if the most likely answer turns out to be the less sensational one.
Sometimes nature is amazing enough all by itself.
Absolutely. And, until the nature of this mysterious visitor is definitively, absolutely understood, and who knows, maybe future observations will reveal even more surprises down the line.
And I know.
Right. Our imagination is going to keep running wild with it. The universe holds so many secrets, and it feels like every new discovery just opens up more questions than it answers sometimes.
That's the beauty of it, I think. Always more to learn.
So what stands out to you listening right now about this deep dive into 3I Atlas? Was it the science, the speculation, the controversy? Let us know. Share your thoughts in the comments below.
Yeah, we'd love to hear what you think.
And hey, if you enjoyed this journey into the cosmos, hit that subscribe button to join us on future deep dives. And please share this deep dive with anyone else you know who loves a good cosmic mystery.
Definitely share the wonder.
We can't wait to see what surprising facts and aha moments you discover next. Thanks for joining us.